Then for our last part, we have to show you the predictable, unpredictable, and then all of our literary. So with that comes first is all the commercial elements that were predictable, which had to do with publishing the book itself, which was basically just Skeeter having the idea that she wanted to tell all the main stories. Another one was a man named Johnny who was married to one of the white ladies, and she basically all the men in the story were like known to not treat all the maids very well. So to have one of the husbands actually accept one of the maids and like have her want to be there for like the rest of their lives and take care of them and actually like want them there was really different. The maids coming through at the end, that was predictable because like as you can tell like with the book they wouldn't have like brought in this whole storyline of them wanting to publish a book and then not wanting to publish it at the end. Like they would obviously want to tell their story and tell how like original it is. And then Skeeter's mom had cancer. She would talk about how she would always have pain and like everything. So we obviously like knew that she was sick at one point. So her just coming out like, oh, I have cancer wasn't like, oh my goodness, it's so bad. Like we were like, oh, she's been sick for a while.
Some of the unpredictable were Skeeter had issues being in a relationship, and so when she had a relationship, the guy actually proposed to her, but then backed out because of the book. Because he so Stuart, his father was the senator in the book, so like he's like, I can't marry the person who wrote the book about our city. So it's like, okay, that was sad. Constantine was Skeeter's maid, and the reason why she left is because she died. And then once again, it was kind of like we didn't know which one was unpredictable and unpredictable because the way that Johnny came off at Minnie was like, Minnie was like, oh, he's gonna kill me, and then he's like, why would I kill you? Actually made me get fat, like he gave me food. And then that was another.
And then for like just literary elements that were like kind of very different, like with styles and everything was Alessandra talked about the miscarriages. It was basically like a scene in the book where she had a miscarriage and Minnie had to go into the toilet and take it out. And it was like very like different, like you weren't expecting that like to like ever happen in the book, and then just the way it was written was very, very different. And then the one I talked about was the naked man attacking Minnie. And what I left out was that the white lady that she worked for actually went out and she went to go help her. So that was like very different because, especially because all the white women in the book were very, very mean to their maids. And then something that like we were all like kind of shocked at the end was the very last part of the book was Abeling, who was the main maid, and she worked for like this very, I wouldn't say like nice, but she would like kind of just like treat her as like, oh, she's my maid, like whatever. She ended up getting fired at the end because of the mean white woman Hilly just basically went after her and tried to destroy her after realizing that she was part of the book. And then the themes were the generic ones: love, friendship, racism, loss, immunity, and gender inequality. For artistic characters, we had Skeeter, which makes sense because Skeeter is the one who wrote the book in the first place. So to see her as an artistic character is pretty self-explanatory.
And then at that time in the 1960s, you wouldn't want a white lady in Jackson, Mississippi to write a book about maids. So that's like, that was the part that was like, okay, that's why it's different.
For artistic, we put Minnie because Minnie is the sassiest maid in the whole entire book. She basically set her mind, and what she didn't like, she didn't. She's basically the infamous chocolate pie story where she put her poop into a chocolate pie and gave it to one of her old white owners. Well, owners like,
It was Hilly.
it was Hilly. She gave it to Hilly. She gave it to Hilly, and that's why Hilly got mad about the book.
And that's like a really like famous part, I guess, of like the whole story, and like that's why we brought in this pie to like symbolize. It's supposed to be the chocolate pie, but
Yeah, I didn't know.
So
You're gonna make us eat. You guys should have asked.
no, it would have been chocolate.
Because you only heard the book.
For very generic characters, we had Hilly. It was basically like Oh man, there's another mean white lady from the 1960s being mean to other black women. So she was a generic character. Although Constantine was another very generic character. She was the one who raised Skeeter, and then she ended up being fired by her mom, moved to Chicago, and then she died. So that was very sad. But she didn't have like a very like prolonged like arc in the book. It was basically like what happened to her was basically like the main mystery of the book. For plot, it was basically just writing the book itself, really it, and the Black Maids, which had to do a lot with like the time period. So the symbolism was the toilet, though the biggest thing, like I would say for like the first half of the book had to do with all the toilets. They didn't want them to have the same toilet as like the main family, so they wanted the help to have all their own separate toilets and have the white women have all of their toilets because they thought they were going to get diseases from other people. So we put a toilet as symbolism because it was just basically like a big symbolism of all the segregation that was going on.
And that's why I was like, because Haley proposed the idea of the bill to go through, and then that's like in the part of the book, Skeeter actually did a typo in the newspaper saying, place all your used toilets in at this address, and it was Haley's address. And then Haley was out of town, and when she came back, all the toilets from the town was in her front yard.
Yeah, that is all we have for you today. Thank you.